I can't even see that far.
Welcome to part 2 of rating YouTube sensation Golf Sidekicks golf game. I hope you guys enjoyed part 1. If you haven't already watched it, the link will be in my description box below. Today we're going back to the west course and we're going to the front 9, which is west 1. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There will be a lot more analysis and some observations that I've made during his round as well. So let's go ahead and begin the video. We have a par 4 over here and he's going with a driver, going to carry those right bunkers.
Ooh, smashed it.
After a perfect drive, this hole becomes really short and he only had a 60-degree wedge to the green. He said this is his first time hitting a full 60-degree with this wedge, and I was about to advise against it, but then he hit a practice shot and he said this is about to be good, so I let him go. But then disaster struck and Chunkaroony.
This is why I need to.
How do you feel about leaving yourself this chip after having 94 yards?
I'm not proud of it. But you don't hit the shot, you don't know how to play.
Wise words from the player-in-chief himself. Over here, he has about a 35-yard chip, not the easiest over a bunker, but after that little comment that I made, maybe he's gonna be a little bit more motivated to hit a good chip over here. Let's see what he does. Carries it perfectly, lands over the bunker and a tap-in par. What a balls. Next up, we have another par 4. He's gonna go with a 3-wood over here because I'm pretty sure that if he really hit his driver well and down the center of the fairway, there is a chance that you might kick left into that water over there, as I'm pretty sure he could reach it. So let's just take the water completely out of play. The aim here is just to carry that center bunker, which is definitely something that his 3-wood can do, and he will be right in the center fairway within play for a second shot. So he had this left for his second shot. There's still water on the left and bunkers around the green, so it's not the easiest second, and he did not hit a fade like he thought he was going to, but it stayed dry, which is fine. And that's something with golf too. We must remember, although we always want to hit a perfect shot, most of the time we are not going to. So at the end of the day, as long as it's safe, we're in play, it doesn't really matter. We can move on and go to the next shot. So he ended up having this putt over here for birdie. It's looking like he's getting a good read at it. There is a big slope right in front of the pin. So distance control is not the easiest with this kind of putts, and as you can tell, he left it short, which is not what he wanted to do, obviously. But he had this putt for par. So one of the things that I think players should be thinking about is, what is your thoughts when you're over a putt like this? Are you thinking about, oh, I have to make it because I don't want a 3-putt? Or are you thinking and giving the putt the same consideration you would any other putt? Because you should be doing the second and not the first. So next up, we have a par 5. It's a short one, very much reachable for him. He was hitting a driver here just to carry those bunkers because once he carries them, there's nothing up there. But I want you guys to pay attention to something. Do you guys see that his body almost looks closed and facing left? In actual golf terms, his body is actually open, and that's why it looks like it's facing left. But I find that most of the time when he does that, he has a tendency to double cross it, and I think it's on holes where he's not very confident with his shot choice. And since he's hitting a fade, he kind of doesn't really align his body correctly, and it makes it a lot easier for him to double cross. So if you pay attention to the good shots that he hit and shots like that one over there just now, you can tell a little bit of difference just in his setup and his alignment. Over here, another thing I would like to say is, if you're not confident with the shot you're gonna hit, since you already just hit a bad shot, don't hit the same club. It's just to give yourself a little mental break, and the tendency is if you miss the first shot left, you're gonna miss the second shot right.
You're hitting a 4-iron? Yeah. Are you gonna be able to get it up?
Although that was kind of a joke, I think it is important to note that because he did not answer me, he wasn't confident in his first shot choice. So if he was definitely confident he was going to hit a good shot, he was going to get it out, he would have been like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it would be. So he changed his decision and ended up hitting a punch 4, which I think was great. Always remember, guys, don't get yourself in more trouble than you already are. Is the risk worth the reward, and is there even a reward in the shot that you're about to hit? This is his approach shot. So obviously that's not the shot that he wanted to hit, and he left himself with a really difficult chip here. So let's see what he says.
Are you filming this?
Yeah, I am.
So I'm going to float this one past the downslope with a flop shot because I have literally nothing left to lose. I'm hitting number 6.
Oh yeah. Perfect.
Probably the best chip he could have done from where he was. Left himself with this putt here for a double. And unfortunately took a triple on the par 5. Next up we have a par 3 and he's going with a pitching wedge here. It is uphill. Hit it okay and it's on the green and we've got a putt for birdie. Clearly not knowing the greens, he did not know that there's a huge slope to the left side of the pin. So he had a pretty tough putt here for birdie and just did not give it enough. So this is the putt that he had left for par, and after 4 holes he could have saved 2 shots just by not 3 putting, so obviously he needs to go to the putting green. Next up we have a par 5. We're going for 3-wood here after deciding that we just want to get the ball in play because this is a short hole for him and one that he can go for in 2. Great shot. After a good tee shot, he only had an iron left to green. And it is something that we talked about after the round. I mentioned to Matt how if he had just played with irons today, I think he would have shot maybe 5 shots better than he ended up shooting. Because he's long enough, and the distances that we played today, he didn't really need anything longer than a 4-iron. But it is interesting to kind of experiment and test, and of course I'm not saying don't hit your woods or don't hit your driver. But on days that you're not hitting them so well, you don't always need to hit them, especially on holes that you don't feel comfortable.
That's gonna be fine.
So he didn't hit the green, but he was in this bunker here, which is fine. The right side is water, short is water, so you do want to miss on the fat side if you're going for the green. Not the easiest bunker shot here. Downhill, down slope, and there was a slope in front of the pin as well. So I think he executed this shot pretty well and gave himself a putt for birdie, which is what we want. So after making an amazing birdie and the first birdie of the round and meeting some fans from across the golf course who were shouting, "What a player!" here comes Matt with a 3-wood, and let's just say it was a little bit quick. All jokes aside though, I'm actually talking about something real here because I think most of you guys as golfers would have heard of the term PBFU. If you haven't, I'm sorry, I'm not going to explain it here on my channel, but maybe you can ask your friends what it is. But sometimes when we make a birdie, we're excited, we're pumped up. This is his first birdie in the round so far after missing quite a few chances. So obviously after that birdie, he's excited. And after taking some photos with fans, obviously he's even more excited. So sometimes we do underestimate the power of just stepping back and taking a deep breath. One of the things that we talked a lot about during the round was actually tempo. So this is an example of something that could affect your tempo. And I'm not saying it's wrong or it's right. It's fine to be excited after birdie, but do be aware about it and just take a deep breath. It does help and it does make a difference. Here is his putt for par on this hole. And unfortunately walking away for bogey, but it's not too bad after the tee shot was in the trees. Next up we have a par 4, and I really want you guys to pay attention to his alignment here on the tee box. As a fade player, the trees on the left definitely come into play and the right side is the water, so you do not want to try to hit a fade here. If anything, I would have recommended that he hit a 4-iron here and just get it on the fairway, because he definitely had the tendency to double cross it today, and that is exactly what happened. But anyway, his ball came back out to the fairway. Well, to the rough, and I don't know if you guys can tell the difference, but just look at how he approaches this shot versus the shot that he was about to hit. And then you can tell the difference in the way he's approaching the ball, the way he walks up to the ball. He just looks absolutely confident here, no doubt in his mind, driver is going to be the club. And hits a perfect shot.
What a shot.
So his driver rolled over the green, which is not a bad play since considering where he was from, and there was no chance he was going to get any spin out of that rough lie that he was in. So he had this bunker shot here and he hit a pretty good shot, but there was just a slope and it didn't stop rolling, but it's alright, he still had a putt for par. Unfortunately did not make it, but it's not a bad bogey from the tee off that he had. Let's move on to the next hole, which is a par 3. It was playing 169 and he was hitting a 7-iron over here. Hit a pretty good shot, I think it just bounced a little bit left and ended up a little bit short of the green. So he ended up having this chip over here. I think he hit good contact with the chip, it just rolled out much more than he thought it was going to. But it's okay, he gave himself a putt for par. If you have been counting the mistakes that he has made with his short game on this 9, he could have easily saved 3 to 5 shots just on this 9 alone, which is quite a substantial number for a single handicapper. Anyway, we have made it to the last hole of this 9, which is a par 4. It's a short hole and he's decided to go with a 4-iron here. As you can tell, it is pretty narrow, there's water all down the right side, so you do want to hit a good tee shot here. So I thought this was a good play, because the 4-iron is a club that he's comfortable with and a club that will get him in play. He hit it a little left of where he wanted to, but it's perfect just short of that bunker. Great layup. As I said, perfect layup, he just had to hit an 8-iron here, but he does have to carry that bunker and it is uphill. Well executed, just a little bit left of the target. So he ended up just about a yard left of the green, but the lie there wasn't so great, so he definitely wasn't going to catch a spinner over here. Let's see what he does. I think he catches the ball pretty good, it just, as I said, no spin, so not a bad effort. So he gave himself this putt for par, and everybody close your eyes right now because it is going in. You guys did not just see that, it went in. So before he throws his putter and his wedges away because of all the comments I've been making about his putting, let's just note that it was just not a hot putter day for him. But it's fine, not a bad score and not a bad bogey. Hey guys, it's me, Jen, and today I'm here to give you guys the player rating. So what did I think about my experience of playing with Golf Sidekick and basically my observations. So I am a touring pro, and I'm saying this based on that. I'm not saying based on the fact that like I think I'm better than him or anything like that. I'm just saying based on my experiences and what I think he can improve on and what I think is his strengths and weaknesses. So let's just first say that, okay, let's make it clear. It is different, first of all, when you're playing with pros. I think if you've never played with a pro before, the experience is very different, especially when it's a girl and you're a guy. Because as the player-in-chief likes to talk about, there is this thing called ego, and a lot of men do not want to lose to women. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, women do not want to lose to men either, but it seems to be a little bit worse when men lose to women. So there is a little bit more pressure when a guy plays with a girl. Even though I am a pro, he is a single handicapper and he's definitely hitting it at least like 40 yards past me. So he does have an advantage there. But let's not forget that I'm a pro and I practice every single day. So he has a disadvantage there because the last round that I played with him was actually in KRTU. And after that, I don't think he even touched his golf clubs. And KRTU and TPC are two very different golf courses. And as I said in the first hole, he did not have time to go to the putting green, so he didn't really know the speed of the greens, although it did say it was 10.3 on that day. But it was raining the whole morning, so it was a little bit slower. So let me just put that out there first of all. And second of all, I was the one in charge of filming this time. As you guys know, he's usually the one controlling the content. So he knows exactly what is going out there, he knows exactly what he wants to film, and he kind of can expect the kind of content that he's going to get. With this, I am in control. So it does make a difference because you feel a little bit more pressure when you have no idea what kind of content is going to go out there, you know? If you go out there and shoot 90 and tell everyone, and you're giving advice to everybody about how to break 90, it can ruin your reputation a little bit, and that in no way is what I'm trying to do to him. So let me just talk about what I observed and what I think about him. First of all, does he have game? 100% he does have game. I think he's an athletic person that knows how to play golf by feel, play golf naturally. Not saying that he doesn't have to work for that. I think he already put in the work years ago, so now he has that natural muscle memory. So obviously he doesn't practice as much as I do, but he does have that golf swing memory in his body, so he knows how to hit a golf ball. Like, guys, you guys have watched his video, you guys know he knows how to play golf. So the thing that I've noticed the most obviously is short game. And like I said a little bit about his pre-shot routine, things like that, just small things that I've noticed. And one other thing that we talked about was tempo, and also something that I noticed when he was uncomfortable over shots. So he told me in the previous round that we played together that he actually doesn't like to hit fades because, you know, a fade is a bit more of a weaker shot compared to a draw. But every time he hits a fade, he hits it dead straight at a pin. So he kind of had to put his ego aside and decided, okay, I'm going to be a fade player, I'm going to commit to that shot, which I think is great. So the problem with that is on certain holes such as par 5s where you kind of feel like you need to hit further, obviously the thought of draw comes into your mind. So that then stems the problem of him, the thing that I mentioned on one hole where he looks like he's open towards the target. Basically his body just looks a little bit misaligned, which makes it easier for him to cut and kind of, what do you call that, cut across, and that's why he hooks the ball instead of hitting a fade, because he doesn't hit his normal fade swing there. You can tell, I don't know if you can tell in the videos, but I can tell when I'm standing in front of him. I don't have to see where the ball goes. Like when he aligns up to the ball, I can kind of tell, this might not be the best hole. So I think that is definitely something that he can work on. And of course things like short game, short game is practice, and I can't blame him for not being very sharp with short game. I mean, he doesn't have time to practice, he doesn't even go practice because he has other things to do. He's a busy man, which is fine. He still has a good short game, it's just maybe not as sharp. But on days that it is sharp and it is on, I'm sure he's going to be able to shoot under par. So my total conclusion is, number 1, is he the player that he says he is? 100%. I think he's got game. On a good day, he could definitely go head to head, and I would not be giving him any strokes, that's for sure. But I think there are things that he can improve upon, and he would definitely agree with that as well. Overall, I would say he would have rated his experience 20 out of 10. He said he really wanted to play in the TPC's West Course. It was part of his bucket list golf course. So I'm really glad I got to bring him out there. But also I would say that he probably would rate his own game as like average. So maybe 5 out of 10. I know he wasn't very happy with the back 9. And also, side note, he did drink like 3 coffees that day. So that probably did not help when it kicked in on the back 9. So yeah, we'll talk about nutrition some other time. But you know, that's probably not the best idea, and that probably did affect his thinking and his mental clarity. So yeah, end of story. He's 100% the player that you guys know that he is. And yeah, I had tons of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm looking forward to more content with him. Bye guys.